I want to welcome everyone to Bitcoin Spike and Crypto Kingdom. Guys, this is London. We have a great show. It's going to be brief today, but guys, we have to go over a few details on Bitcoin. Let's go over Bitcoin, guys. Just to introduce, you guys know I'm London. I'm a former financial analyst, guys. I've been in the finance field for quite a while after Duke University, graduated in 3 years, and I was lead analyst over a $1 billion equity fund, guys, working across the table from Harvard Foundation. All the numbers had to be accurate, so we welcome you guys here. I try and bring you the most accurate information in a timely manner to maximize your returns. You guys know that that's what it's all about in crypto. We cover Bitcoin heavily, guys. We also cover AXS. I wanted to let you guys know AXS was something that I brought to the VIP, guys. That's our top level of membership. AXS, guys, currently over $70. If you guys will look back through our Twitter, make sure you follow us at Bitcoin Spike on Twitter or follow us on at the Kingdom. Guys, look at this. I brought it to the VIP, guys. This was on July 5th. Let's take a look at this. On July 5th, guys, I brought it to them around, it looks like right around the $9 mark. It's currently over $70, guys, over $70. AXS performing phenomenally well, just refusing to quit. A lot of people are talking about AXS, guys. I first brought that to the VIP under right around the $9 range, in that range, guys. So in a month, that's just phenomenal returns. We welcome you guys. We have a critical update. I'm going to give you some trend analytics on Bitcoin today. You guys will do some measurements as well. Let me go ahead and plug into the chats. Make sure you guys are doing well. So glad to have you guys back. As we look at the trend analytics today, and I'm really excited you guys are making some money on AXS. Congratulations! So glad I brought that to the VIP. I even mentioned that in the Twitter, saying I brought this to the VIP hours ago. We caught the trend. Look at this, caught the trend. Very important, guys. Caught the trend. That trend has not ended. Over $70 currently on AXS. Very excited to bring that to you guys. Now, in terms of the trend, let's do a little bit of trend analytics if we could. Let's get into the trend on Bitcoin. Let's talk about the this phenomenal move that we've had to the upside recently. Let's go ahead and measure that. I put some measurement tools here so that we can just kind of identify where we're at and essentially what the amplitude is here. Let's look at this, guys, from under 30,000 to currently 45,517. I have marked this out at about, guys, right at 60%. 60% within a time frame of about 21 days. Okay, so that's a phenomenal return as you guys look at potentially, and you guys know, not financial advice, do your own research, etc. But 60%. We also, guys, caught the very bottom of this, guys. The very bottom was an ascending triangle. We'd love to trade those. You guys know that. As you guys look at, let's say, look beyond, let's say, just the overall returns. A lot of you want to know what's going on with the price action now. Where is it headed? I'd like to provide you a little bit in the form of some trend analysis tools, some tools that you can use in terms of trend analytics. Okay, let's look at the analytics. Let's use, guys, this pitchfork tool is on the left of your toolbar. It's there for a reason. It's right in front of you all the time. Few people actually use it. Let's use this. I want to discuss with you where we're at in the trend right now and what are your trading, what is your trading range right now, okay? The trading range is going to define kind of your entries and your exits. It's going to define the trend itself, guys. So as we look at that in January, earlier this year, you guys know you can essentially, let me just show you quickly, you can click on the tool. It's there in front of everyone all the time. Very few people use it. It's essential in terms of defining the trend. You will start, I'd say, at the beginning of the trend marker. You're thereafter going to, essentially what you want to do is express the breadth of the channel, okay? Express the breadth of the channel. I have this on magnets right now, so it's going to snap to essentially what I had done prior here too. But you're going to start essentially, excuse me, and you can kind of try and thread if you want to. You can try and thread this line that initiates the trend, or you can start at the basics, or you can become more aggressive or conservative in terms of how you define the trend. I usually like to encapsulate the entirety of the breadth of the first move, okay? That entirety of the breadth of the first move is going to give us, let's say in the instance here of the price action in the beginning, guys, if you will look at the beginning of the year, look at the breadth of the trend. Look at how, it's really phenomenal the way the tool works and the way the trend expresses itself. I just want to show you, once you define the breadth of the trend, as you'll see the price action in the beginning of the year, you'll see that there is a completion, I'd say, let me go ahead and turn off the magnet here. You'll see that there is a tendency to not only complete the trend again, but to use these, guys, these lines that are expressed within this tool as levels of support and resistance. Very important important is you guys will see this, guys. Even a breakout of this trend, guys, is intimated or indicated, I'll say. But typically, guys, these will be your trading. I'd say your trading range here quite easily, guys, expressed, and I'll say even up into you'll start to see confirmations, or you'll start to see levels of support. You'll even see levels of resistance along this midline, the red line. You'll see this top. I'd say if you have an upper, a middle, and a lower bound, you'll see the upper level. Okay, once you've defined this, the upper range. I'd say the upper line of resistance. Right, you'll see that play. Right, you will see that in terms of play. I mean, serve as a future line of resistance. Okay, you'll thereafter see different levels within here. Even if we zoom in, I want you guys to really pay attention to this. Even the mid level, you'll see attempts, and this is on the guys. We're zoomed out on the daily. Definitely on the lower time frames, you'll definitely see this play out well. But you'll see trades at these different levels, at the mid level, at the midline. You'll see in here at the midline. You'll see that serve as a line of support. You'll see this in here at the top level. Essentially, this top level serve as another entry for individuals. You'll see the top level again serve as a resistance. Back to the midline, you'll see this line of support. Back to the lower level, you'll see served as support. So as we look at this, guys, just carrying this forward, you'll also see the bottom line of the channel, right? This lower line, this extreme bottom line of the channel. You'll see that serve as a support. You'll see an inability here, but an attempt to get above this level here, this lower portion of the channel, guys, of this trend line. And this is the entirety of the expression, guys, of the price action and the trend. So I bring this up because it's clearly identifiable within there when the trend starts to soften. Still within that softening of the trend, what are the pickup points? Where is your trading range? Where are your entries along this trend, right? This is your trend tool. People don't use it. It's always right in front of your face, and people just neglect to use it. So as we carry this forward, guys, I want to carry this forward to the instant action here, to kind of where we're at right now. There are a few different ways you can define the trend, okay? As we've just done that in the beginning of the year, guys, as we've looked at the parameters, the way that they're applied to the beginning of the price action earlier this year, I want you guys to be able to apply the same technique and rationale, whether or not you choose to be more conservative or aggressive, whether or not you're saying you have a lower risk threshold or a more aggressive threshold. I want you guys to go ahead and start the trend here. I want you to thereafter just draw it up to the breadth of the trend. Okay, now there's going to be some differentiation here. What I'm going to talk about now is whether or not we would start the trend, and we're going to make some assumptions here. Some people will define the trend, okay, almost like a categorically, guys. Some people will define a trend only after the breakout of a previous channel or breakout of a previous line. That's very important, guys. So some people will want to initiate this trend analysis, okay, the trend analysis at this breakout point right here, as we would say right here at the breakout of this intermediary any intermediary channel. We do that with Fibonacci's, with pricing targets, quite frequently. Okay, so that would be, as we establish this trend line up, not everyone's going to go to this initial base, the initial pivot there. I want you guys to know that. And essentially what we are doing, guys, and you can work with the variability, you will see very quickly how you can become more aggressive or more conservative. You can include the entirety of this line. You can go down to, I'd say ground zero there. What's important right now as we look at this, guys, we have a few differences, and I'm going to talk about the differences from the beginning of the year, the trend versus the trend right now. This is critical information in terms of essentially your exposure to risk, what you want your exposure to risk, whether or not we've broken out of a trend or not. I think it's crucial information for you to assess. So as we look at this, guys, the beginning of the year, we have a real broad channel, guys, and that was established. I want you to take note of the fact it was established by a lot of lateral movement. So this lateral movement gave this trend essentially the breadth which was carried up. Right now, we don't have that degree of lateral movement. We do have a move that's indicative of the beginning of the year. It is definitely, I mean, guys, in terms of the strength of the move that we recently experienced, guys, it is almost, I'm going to say, and a lot of uncategorically, it's stronger in a lot of, if you consider a lot of different characteristics, guys, i.e. the velocity, the uninterrupted move to the upside. This is, guys, this is very distinct, okay? Extremely distinct in terms of the strength. As we look at the preceding moves, I'd say at the beginning of the year, guys, you'll notice how choppy they are. Okay, very, very, uncomfortable ride for a lot of people as you looked at their gains. Now, those people were rewarded. I'm going to say this: they were rewarded for putting up with that level of price action. This was very easy, guys. I'm just going to say, in terms of this, the price action was so strong to the upside, guys. It was just uninterrupted, kind of, just look at the smooth carry up of that. The velocity was phenomenal. You guys know that. We definitely enjoyed gains on Bitcoin, and we've mentioned previously on AXS, guys, at $70. We brought it to you guys. We brought it to you on July 5th. Okay, we started talking about AXS. Since then, it's just continued to gain traction. Want to give a shout out to everybody who's trading that. We're not, sold on altcoins, I'm going to say all the time, but I don't know if that's the right expression, but we do like to experience the gains. We enjoy the day trading, and then we enjoy, guys, a lot of people enjoy some heavy holdings into different coins. So I want to shout out to all our VIP members. Definitely, if you guys are looking to join, we just had a few different. Isaiah was a new member. We have multiple new members. Isaiah was very active today in the back rooms. That was very exciting. So as we look at the trend analytics, guys, this is something that I want you to be able to do. That's why I've gone through it in depth. I want you to use, let's say, this pitchfork tool. I want you to understand that we're currently right now at a lesser threshold because we haven't yet pushed laterally. Depending upon your level of risk, okay, upon your level of, how much risk, your risk tolerance, let's say that. Depending upon your risk tolerance here, the further that we were to push out, let's say in January, it seemed real negative. Okay, it seemed real negative. However, you'll see that was carried up. It became a positive. Okay, so the broader that we became in terms of the expression of the trend, and as it carried up, guys, very important point, as it carried up, that gave us kind of a broader trading range to work with as we achieved higher prices, the 64.86310. Okay, so as we, the initial retracement seemed very negative and this is very important, guys. It seemed very kind of harsh. If you guys will remember the beginning of the year on Bitcoin, the further this goes down, it seems a little bit harsher. The good news is that the further that this were to push, the more laterally that it chooses to go, the more breadth that width that it exposes, guys. That established, a really beautiful, trading range that we were able to accomplish, and the trend became very nice, unmistakable, something that a lot of people made incredible gains on. So currently in the price action, we are almost, I'm going to say we're just near vertical. I'm just going to say that we are near vertical. To say that we're going to break this trend at all, guys, I'm just going to tell you, at this point in time, we are near vertical. Okay, so in terms of, we do have a little bit of a breadth to work with here, a little bit of a width, lateral price action to work with here. It's just a real narrow width here. So I'm going to say this: the threshold for this, for sustaining this move right here, or this trend, is light, guys. The threshold is light. You're about on the threshold if you do a typical standard analysis. I do bring up the fact, guys, that we are in a much more consolidated, constricted zone right here, and I want to let you guys know, the more that this pushed, and just look at this, guys. Look at this, for instance. I want to bring this up specifically to you so that you can consider this. If we had drawn the trend line here, let's go ahead and raise this here. Let's say we had drawn the trend line here in the beginning of the year. I want to just, say that if that's all the pricing action that we were to look at, this initial move here, we can, we can further refine this a touch, something along the lines of that. If that's all the price action that we were looking at, well, then you would clearly see, well, there was a lot more to the story to be told. Correct. Okay. If we just looked at the trend, while the trend essentially was in a vertical state, guys, we would be looking at something that typically people would have definitely missed out. I'd say that this is the catch. They would have missed out on the residual. You'll see clearly almost missing out on the entirety of the residual. That trend line is not maintained. However, guys, those who exited here during this time frame had a pickup. Okay, they had a pickup waiting for them at a lower price, waiting for them at a price that was between, I'd say, 19 and potentially 20% lower, okay, to recapitalize at and to reestablish, or I'd say to reaccomplish. Let me go and zoom that back. There we go. If we to reaccomplish more profit on the upside once they had re-entered the market at a lower price, guys. So that is a technique in terms of maximizing your profit. Some of you don't want to trade. Some of you enjoy holdings. I know Angel, our top supporter on the top, we want to shout out to you. He has, I know he's entered into the market heavily. He's been around since $7.79 on Bitcoin. He's a phenomenal supporter for the community and for you guys. We just shout out to him. We hope he's doing well. And as we look at this, guys, we hope you're all doing well. I know it's a lot of kind of summer coming to an end. I know he's just getting back from vacation, as some of you are as well. So I hope you guys are readjusting to normal life well. We really hope that for you guys. Just to kind of recap here, one thing we will talk about, guys, is that 23.6 at the 44,850. Guys, you will just recall one thing, that was the mark that we did designate, that I designated as a line of resistance before, guys, before this hitched down. Okay, I want to recall for all of us, guys, before this hit this resistance and hitched down, guys, that was the resistance specifically calculated by me so that you guys would have a heads up on that. Again, that would be kind of a micro move if you looked at, exiting and re-entering. What we would do on a move like this, that's a little bit, I would say a little, and guys, not financial advice, you guys, you know that, but in terms of whether or not we're going to break this trend here, I would say that I would anticipate right now that this would be a line that would want to be enforced. I'm going to go ahead and say that this may be a line that would want to be enforced for two reasons, guys. First of all, because it is the full expression of the designated channel that we have gone ahead and seen. Yes, we have a line of resistance and a line of support. A, for that reason. B, because we are coming back upon, and I'm going to say we're coming back upon that pre-designated level of resistance, which we're going to hope to turn into support. You guys know that rule, okay? As we look at this, currently the price, let's see, at 45,357. Yes, we're going to be looking to turn this previous level of resistance to the top, which we clearly identified, into a level of support. It's going to coincide quite nicely with the lower bound, essentially, of this, I'm going to say of this established trend line and channel that we have determined. So that's going to be a nice move to watch. I'm going to say that just as in the beginning of the year. Now, no one would have said they were bearish on Bitcoin during this time. You guys know that during the beginning of the year, no one was bearish on Bitcoin. People had just doubled their money up to 40,000 from more than that, guys, from the lower part 9,000 and around 9,000 to 41,000. So it was a huge dramatic move to the upside. As we look at that, no one would have said they were well, I do believe the CEO of JP Morgan said that it would potentially never hit 41,000 again before it went to 64,863.10. So as we look at that, there were some calculatives involved there. The more that it retraced during this time frame, just remind yourself, it gave more of a channel to complete on the upside, more of a trading range. That breadth was used on the upside, okay? So that was used on the upside, right? So as we look at the current trend and we're in a near vertical state, guys, I just want to let you guys know that if we were to push here, I'm going to say we're essentially right now we're in a vertical state, guys. I'd like to continue to see positive price action in line with not only the trend line that has been expressed, this channel that has been expressed, but also within this initial, I'm going to say this initial extension line. So I think that's real important to consider both of those dynamics in terms of this 23.6 at the 44,850. I would anticipate that this could be a strong level of entry. Definitely, I think people at this point are going to be employing some stop losses. They do not want this to push much without the ability to regain additional Bitcoin, additional holdings, whether or not you're looking at your alts and some confluence or correlations, some positive correlations as well. I would say this would not be a point wherein people would want to lose a 20% holding. Some of the individuals who may not be comfortable with trading, etc., they may pre-decide that they're going to just certainly go in line with the trend. The trend has not broken. That's the good news. As we look at this, guys, the trend has not broken, and I think the trend needs some additional, what would we say, just some additional defining. We need to further define the trend. That will happen with the price action. Definitely, that will as we continue to establish kind of the nature and the feel of the price action here, we'll continue to define what this trend looks like. Okay, so the one thing we don't want is a recapitulation. I'm going to say, aside from this move here to the upside, guys, the beautiful, this beautiful, we would have all been very happy to have seen 50% or greater, from the level of 30,000. We've gotten our wish there. That has come true. We don't want to see a capitulation after we powered up through within the last few days. We don't want to see a recapitulation of that 23.6 or that 44,850. If you guys are looking for key markers, that's one that I personally don't want to see recapitulated, because I don't want it to serve as resistance again. I think it's going to confuse and maybe result in some I'd say some inability for some traders to really assess things well. And we always want to be able to assess things well on this channel. You guys know we do a great job with your assistance guys in the back. We really appreciate you guys being there. Love the charts, love your trades. I know Ryan has been killing it on some trades. I love that, just multiple trades throughout the day, both on vacation and in between work, etc. Just love to hear that, guys. I'd love to see you guys trading, and Bitcoin's been a lot of fun to trade. You guys definitely know that. Also, AXS has been just phenomenal, guys. Bring it to you. I'm just excited about the fact that on July 5th, and I've continually focused on it, July 5th, telling you guys that what is this? And it just has an interesting use case. I have to say, an interesting use case for something. As we look at this, guys, I brought it this morning at $60. It's already over $70, and we looked at this was back July 5th. I want to bring this up July 5th, and if you guys will look at this here, this is really interesting. On July 5th, me stating, what do we have here? Let's go ahead and look at this. July 5th, just so we get this on the record. The price was at, what was it? Dun, 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 dun. Can we get in there? $8.99 was the first flag. I caught this at the first flag, brought that to the VIP. It was at $8.99. It's currently at $70, guys. So that's really phenomenal as you guys look at that. And we've continually reinforced AXS. I've been, very outspoken in terms of, individuals who have not, I think at some point, individuals who have not unilaterally focused on AXS. What are you doing? But we've had a lot of fun with that. You guys have had some great profits. So as we look at this, guys, I'm going to have a little bit of flexibility on the trend here in terms of the defining it. I do want you to know and understand how to point out it, or how to define a trend, and to make use of the tools that are right in front of you. I don't think we can hold ourselves out as being the top day trader club, etc., the top crypto club, if we cannot use the tools that are right in front of us. So again, in terms of that pitchfork tool, what I'm going to show you guys just looks like the fork here. It's a easy to start, at the beginning of the trend, to draw within the breadth of the trend, and thereafter to essentially to let it contain the parameters, the low and the high, the support and the resistance of the trend. That is what it is fashioned for, guys. Or it's, I'd say, the top use or application of it. After you've drawn that, you can take that and you can slide that down to clearly define your trend line. I hope you guys see the benefit of that as you're trying to define the trend. Now, again, if this laterally pushes, if this does laterally push, two things will happen. One, potentially your trend will reestablish itself in terms of becoming more broad. It would become more broad. It would become wider, correct? Yes. We would have anticipated, I'd say in line, because of the price action at the beginning of the year, that we would have a broader trend, the width of the trend, the trading range. Now, we don't have that, but I would say we really capitulated in January. A lot of selling went on. So that was a different market. And again, we may have drawn that differently in and around the beginning of the trend when everything was really, really vertical. So as we looked at that, guys, that trend could have looked just something about, something along the lines of this, while things were really in formation and development. That's something I would just bring to your attention, is that, the individuals, who did just get out altogether and said, I'm done with this. Maybe they made some great profits. They didn't have to put up with, I'd say, trading, but we get to trade. I'm going to say that we have the pleasure of trading. So in terms of that, just understand how to formulate your trends, understand how it's going to, affect your risk exposure. I just want you guys to understand that. Also understand the fact that, once the trend is broken, however you want to look at that, guys, in January, it's a great example of the fact that once it was broken. If we go to this, I'd say this differential, application before it did break down from this kind of more narrow trend line, guys, people were able to pick up additional Bitcoin at like 20% less. So you guys understand that's when we pull in our Fibonacci's, right? That's when we would pull in the Fibonacci's to start hammering away at the different levels that it would want to come in contact with. And that's there's a great technique, guys, that in terms of recapturing your what you're after, your asset at a lower price. You guys know we're probably number one in terms of the Fibonacci's. We are definitely looking to double, triple down into those levels. And once a trend does start, once we're beating that top level, etc., we're definitely looking to compound into a trend that's going on. We're currently in a trend now, and guys, just enjoy this. I'm going to go ahead and cut it, but I wanted to bring you just this information and congratulate you on AXS, and in addition to your level of trading smarts, guys, because I know you'll know how to trade this. If this were to break both the trend and this, I'm just going to say and this, and there's no reason to be bearish at all because we have all the techniques and we're still within the trend. Okay, we're still within the trend. That's a great news. I think you have a dual confluence here in terms of wanting to establish this trend, or I'm going to say wanting to reinforce this trend. Also, guys, this level, the previous resistance, this 23.6% of the extension, the 44,850, is going to want to be reinforced. I'm going to say the previous resistance at this level, guys, at this level, bam, which we called the day before, and it perfectly hitched along there, guys. It's going to want to be reinforced at this level. The previous resistance as support, in line also with this trend that's been identified. I'm going to say this is a key moment right here. I'm going to draw a circle around this as if it were a target zone. I want people to understand that this is a target zone for a reason. I want you guys to watch this play out, and I'm just going to put this right here, and I'm going to try and just snapshot this because I think this is a critical zone for Bitcoin. Okay, I'm going to think it's a critical zone for Bitcoin. I don't want people to miss out on the trading opportunities as they exist and present themselves in this specific zone. I think it's a very crucial I say a crucial area for Bitcoin. So that's the target zone right now, and I wouldn't have a target around it, guys, unless it were one. I'm going to say that I wouldn't have a target around it unless it were one. So that's it, guys. This is London with Bitcoin Spike and Crypto Kingdom. I want you guys to go ahead and follow us over at Bitcoin Spike, guys. Make sure you follow us at Bitcoin Spike. Also sign up with Gate. You guys know we have over $1 million currently being traded by our group. That's really exciting, guys. And Bitcoin Spike is just the name. Also Crypto Kingdom. You guys know how to find us. I want to make sure you know how to find us. Make sure also that you sign up for the VIPs because guys, we just have some awesome new VIPs. I'm so excited about it. We'll feature you guys. We'll do a special feature. But I want you guys to understand how to find the kingdom as well, because we're still kingdom strong. Always will be. That's our DMs in the back that I'm flipping through right now. Individuals in the back sharing charts, sharing all types of things. We're trading all day long. As we look at this, you guys you'll type in the kingdom, THEKINGDOM, into the search box. You'll have to scroll down to where it says go to the kingdom. That's the trick to find us. Go to the kingdom, okay? Then you'll find us. Make sure you turn on notifications. Make sure you turn on, guys, all the good stuff because we're coming out with videos. This was a video, done on July 14th about AXS. Me saying I think it's going to beat the trend back then. So, guys, we try and provide the most accurate information in a timely manner, and we trust that you guys are enjoying great profits. We'd like to hear from you, personally in DMs, etc., and through following us, and definitely subscribing and joining that top level of membership.